Please welcome back to the stage, Traye Molly.
Good afternoon, Sideline. The Silver Lining Program was established in 2006 for deserving students who have overcome extreme circumstances. Over the last few years, we have found student groups in much need of our help. This past November, 21 students from Baltimore's Thread program traveled on a Silver Lining trip right here to Birmingham, Alabama. For the last several years, we have sponsored a Silver Lining trip for students in our conference city. Thread program students were selected for the trip based on a variety of factors, including opportunities they've had within the organization, high school attendance, interest in travel, and the content of the trip, and more. These students shared a trip that was a deeply impactful experience that spoke to the students and volunteers alike. In March of this year, in conjunction with the American Experience Foundation's DC Rite of Passage field trip, SYF and AEF provided 37th and 8th grade students from across Harrisburg, Pennsylvania a guided experience throughout the city for a unique, only in Washington, D.C. experience. The 30 middle school students were all participants of Ham Camp, a nonprofit week-long basketball camp based in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania that was founded by DDC's sports development manager, Lawrence Ham, in 2009. Ham Camp is the largest free camp in Pennsylvania, supporting approximately 300 Harrisburg youth each year. For most of these students, they had never left Harrisburg, let alone travel outside the state of Pennsylvania. The Silver Lining story continued in May of 2019, when SYF supported 3 student groups who were affected by the wildfires in Northern California. 4 of the 9 campuses of Paradise Unified School District were destroyed, and many students and teachers have lost their homes. In a year when life was anything but normal, students from the local middle and high schools were determined to experience the scheduled class trips that have traditionally marked the end of school in their community. And in May of 2019, SYF, in collaboration with World Strides, helped make this dream a reality. The students supported by SYF often find themselves in extreme circumstances over which they have no control. They need trips like these. As a result of your continued support, SYF is proud to be there for them.
Please welcome to the stage, Molly.
Before we talk about our next program, I want to thank you for making my dad's life more special. I know he tells lots of stories about us and whatever else he thinks may make you laugh. Actually, at home, we call it getting smithed. You know those big plaques at the Smithsonian museums? Yeah. Getting an answer from my dad is often like looking at one of those big plaques. Dad, how do I divide this fraction? Well, Molly, first we have to understand why that fraction exists and what its purpose might be. Yep, getting smithed. But at the same time, I love his corny stories. Do you know he talks about all of you to us as well? He's told us for years how amazing his sight of friends are. I can't believe the amazing things you are making happen for kids, even for me. Miss Robin outbid my dad for an American Girl doll once and gave it to me. That was pretty awesome. And my friend Shannon always brings me candy from Australia. My dad told me this story once about his friend Joanne, who made VIPs out of a group of deaf students, and it totally changed their lives. Thank you for being an example of what is good in the world. Because of your examples of leadership and service, I am so excited to be a part of making a difference. I am proud to announce that I will be running with the SYF team in 2020. The Running for Youth team uses long-distance running and walking as a symbol of endurance and hope, all while raising funds for SYF programming. Since 2009, the SYF Running for Youth program has raised over $350,000 and provided experiences for hundreds of children in need. You're probably wondering, how can you help? Each runner is required to raise funds for SYF to participate, so please consider helping one of us out. You can also join me in running. If I can do it, you can certainly do it too. While the Orlando Wine and Dine event for this October is already sold out, the 2020 running season will offer us a number of exciting changes. I hope to see you on the moon. It's time for me to turn the stage back over to my dad. But before I do, I want to thank you for making it easier to miss my father. I know when he is with you, good things are happening. Presenting Buddy G.
All right. I'm surprised you didn't cartwheel off or something. That's kind of cool, right? So, it's been an awesome year. And I only told the story one time before because you're still going to get a story, don't think about it. So, it's been very special to me, but I only told this story one other time, so I know only a few of you in this room have heard it. And when I was 13, I went through confirmation class, and when I finished confirmation class, my parents gave me a Bible and a card with an amazing letter in it about responsibility and commitment. And the other thing inside the Bible was a check made out to a student tour company for me to go to Niagara Falls. And so those three things continue to be the center of my life: faith, family, and travel. So we all have this passion for travel, and it makes us different, and it makes us unique, and it makes our jobs so much different. When a kid goes on a trip and they come into your facility, whether it be a hotel, a motor coach, a restaurant, it's their game day. Some of them have sold 4,000 candy bars to get there. They're not a number. They're not filling a space. They're fulfilling a dream. And as silly as it may sound, that a 2-day trip can change your life, mine did. And so when these buses continue to pour in May, we can have the discussion about shoulder seasons another time. When they continue to pour in May, please, please, please make sure that your team understands that they're changing the world through travel. We can't do it any other way. And I hope our true passion for this organization comes through in our work and from the stage today. SYF is what it is today because of all of us in this room. We've donated our time, our treasures, our talents. 20 years of changing young lives for good is certainly something to celebrate. And we couldn't celebrate this milestone if it weren't for everybody in this room and those who have been in the past rooms for 20 years. You show up, you participate in events, and you support all of the work that we do. I want to say a couple special thank yous from the week. We had an amazing golf tournament. The Robert T. Jones Golf Course was a spectacular location for this year's event. Thank you so much for everyone who participated. Also, Barbara, and thanks for getting up for the run, walk, slumber, and letting me sleep in. I tried to rest my voice so my kids didn't make fun of me about it, but that didn't work. It was definitely early, but it is the coolest part of the day, so thank you for everybody who got up to do that. And thank you for everyone who has bid and continue to bid and try to outbid Robin because she, and please put your real name in, because if Robin says, if I have to look at code names and try to figure out who you are in this silent auction, I'm going to be really mad. So put your real name in so she knows who she's outbidding. Continue to bid on those things. she's really competitive, like honest to goodness. And then there's please purchase the tickets for the chance drawing as well. Those are really cool prizes. They close today at 4 p.m. Central Time. So those of you with watches with a hand on it, make sure you're on Central Time because we'll close it on you, especially if Robin's standing there. I also want to encourage those of you who haven't gotten your Dymo ticket to do so. Because while my kids might have heard Bust a Move for the last 6 months, it's going to be a rocking time, right? It's an awesome event, and I will be doing Bust a Move, and there's amazing other performers and some other guest musicians. Trust me, it's going to be worth seeing. Tickets can be purchased at the door as well, so we hope to see you there. Now, I happen to be the one standing up here right now representing SYF, but truly it is a team effort. And I'd like to start by thanking part of that team, and it's the SYF Board of Trustees. For the last year, they have given selflessly. The breadth of expertise and drive on this team is unmatched. And every decision that we made with young people in mind. Please help me to recognize this SYF Board of Trustees. Please stand when your name is called.
Barbara McCormick, Museum. Bruce Rickard, Peak Performance Tours. Ethan Skrennock, Fly My Group. Melissa Ardalis, Group Travel Network. Deb Portward, New England Aquarium. Cindy Brown, Boston Duck Tours. Teresa Cruz, Universal Orlando Resort. Michael Grulinger Music Tours. David Lindsay, Cece's Pizza. Brian Morris, Music Travel Consultants. Robin Parker, Kaleidoscope Adventures, and Dana Romanello, Country Music Hall of Fame Museum.
The talents around the boardroom, they're just amazing, and the commitment and the drive that each one of those people have. Just again, like Molly said, it's made me a better person. You know, when you build a puzzle, right, we all have our different styles. Some people start with, a picture that they can see, and some people start with the four corners. I'm a four corners guy. And that to me is the staff. The site of staff that's shared with SYF is absolutely incredible. Carol Ann, Hazel, and their team work overtime to ensure that every life we touch is receiving the best experience. Let's give Carol Ann, Hazel, and their team. They too buy in. There's absolutely no question in my mind. And last but certainly not least, we have so many donors in this room. Whether you've given an in-kind donation or personal treasures, we could not do all this work without you. If your company's name has appeared on one of the sponsor slides today, please stand and be recognized. I know you're out there. Let's go. So we have a pretty cool award to give away right now. It's called the Youth First Award. And it's given annually to recognize the individual or organization that demonstrates a commitment to enriching students' lives through travel and or contributing to the advancement of our industry through education, volunteer activities, or community service. This year's recipient is Jake Schroeder from the Denver Police Activities League, or PAL. For the past 5 years, Jake has organized trips that have connected urban youth, Denver police officers, and World War II veterans on education experiences in Normandy, France. Yeah, right? Jake has worked tirelessly to ensure that the children and teenagers who may not otherwise be able to travel have the opportunity to learn about another part of the world and culture and connect with our country's past through their experiences with veterans and visits to historical sites throughout Normandy. We are pleased to have Jake Schroeder with us today. Take a look at this video.